Good afternoon. It's a beautiful winter day here in the middle of January 20th. We've got a 69-degree day, so it's perfect to be out here on the court. We have a storm coming in this weekend that might interfere with our playoffs for the Pfeiffer Cup, which I'm eager to play with my buddies on Sunday. And today what I want to do is warm up a little bit, but I want to go through some pre-match mindset stuff to help you play better in matches. I'm going to hit a couple of balls. I hope you can hear me. This audio mic system that I have attached to the Pivo software.
That didn't take long.
Worked. Hope she got a couple of tosses in. Take care. Oh, it's nice to hit balls. If the weather holds up, I got a match tonight. I'm trying to get 2 warm-up matches in before the Sunday playoffs. Feels good. Getting stronger. I've been working out, pumping a little iron. I want to be able to drive my backhand a little harder. Weaponize the backhand. Forehand's feeling pretty weaponized. So we are about to start up the spring league season of the USTA, and I've got a team. This year they took away, or this spring they took away team names because some people went a little too far with their creativity and people were offended. No surprise there. People were easily offended today. That's something about our society. That's all right. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, so they took away team names. So now teams are separated by the last name of the captain. And if you have a couple of teams, then you're going to have a couple of Watari team names. And to me, it just adds a little confusion. It's nice to have the nicknames. That's all right. So anyway, spring league is starting up. Guys are getting warmed up. They're getting tuned up. They're trying to get ready. This year I'm going to play on a men's, this spring. I'm going to continue the coaching, captaining of the Court of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That's the name of our team before they took away the name. And I got a bunch of senior athletes that are good guys. A couple of guys on the team have quite a tennis resume. Calling you out, Lloyd. You'll let us know that. You do have a nice resume, Lloyd. Others of us have a resume too. Not bad. Anyway. Team is getting started. You want to get your strokes dialed in. You want to get your fitness dialed in, your nutrition. You want to get your stretching dialed in. It's all encompassing. You got to have it all together if you want to play well, if you want to compete well, if you want to dictate, if you want to visualize winning and do something about it. A lot more is under your control than you think. People play reactive tennis. They react to the situation. If you get all these other things in alignment and harmony, you can start to kind of force your will. That's what you want to do. That's what's great about this game. Who's going to dictate and who's going to react? Now, along those lines, you got to have all the clubs in the golf bag to be able to deploy a variety of strategies against different players. Today I wanted to talk about scripts. Scripts to have, to rely upon, to calm your mind, to remind you of what you're supposed to be doing. You got to keep your mind, you got to keep reminding yourself through the match what you're doing, to stay on focus. Don't be distracted. And if you do these things, it also helps to keep you in the moment. With all the little things happening in the periphery, the opponent, the wind, the sun, the ball bounce, the excuse making that you're hearing, that makes your mind drift, all the more reason for you to have supreme focus. Supreme focus is really enjoyable when you experience that. I'm going to check and see if this thing is still recording. It's moving, it's following me. I hope you can hear the sound. All right, keep making. There we go. Let's see what happens. We'll see how this video turns out. Raw and unedited. My videos are not edited. I just don't have time for that right now. I will get there. So a couple of scripts. Some basics that apply to all levels of play. These are the foundational bricks of what you need to compete well. One of those foundational bricks is as obvious as it sounds, is to get the ball back one more time than your opponent. But let's break that down. How do you do that? There's a couple things you can do that will immediately improve your quality of play, your results, if you start to do these two things. The tennis court is a long hallway. It's 78 feet long. It's 36 feet wide in doubles and 27 feet wide in singles. It's a long hallway. You need your swing to go up that hallway. Now, the first error that happens with all players is a net error. That's a simple problem solve. If you're netting the ball a lot, you need to aim a foot or two higher over the net. Get some lift on the ball. A couple of great things will come out of that. Number one, you'll stop netting the ball as much. Therefore, your unforced errors, your silly unforced errors, will go down. Second thing that happens is when you loft the ball a little bit more, the ball is going to travel deeper into your opponent's court. As it goes deeper into their court, they're going to have a tendency to make more errors, hit more short balls, hit the ball so that you can come in behind it. Many different things will happen. But if you start aiming higher, your ball travels deeper, giving more problems to your opponent. And the beautiful benefit is as you make less errors in the net and you get more balls back, there's a bit of compounding that happens, which is your opponent starts to make more of those errors. And a shift happens between your unforced error ratio to theirs, resulting in a win. Pretty basic math. Aim a little higher over the net. Stop trying to streamline it right over the clip of the net. Number two, if you take that doubles alley and then create a second doubles alley adjacent to it on the other side of the single sideline, so that you now have a doubles alley that's inside the single sideline. And that's where you start aiming, is to that inside line, the imaginary single sideline you've created, 4 feet in from the single sideline toward the center of the court. If that becomes your new sideline in your mind, you're going to stop flirting with the line so much, resulting in less wide errors, resulting in less chances for your opponent to make a bad call, sometimes referred to as hooking. Hooking happens a lot in amateur league tennis. There are people that are known for being hook meisters. Guys and gals, bad behavior, bad karma, weakness of mind. I have to hook because I need every little advantage I can possibly get because I'm not secure and confident in my ability to beat you straight up. So when I play somebody who hooks, I get doubly focused and I know I've got an advantage on them mentally, big advantage, because I don't want to win that way. In fact, if there's ever a doubt, you call the ball in and you become gracious and you have some poise, and it's not even a thing. That point is your opponent if you're not sure, unless you clearly see it out. Don't go freaking looking for evidence that you thought you saw the ball out, and now you're going to go look for evidence to make sure it was out. That is lame. That is so poor. It's so against the code of conduct. Everybody does that. A lot of people do that. That is so annoying. And the defense is, well, I can see the mark. I can verify what I thought I saw. That's BS. If you didn't see it land, because the ball squishes and it skids for 2 inches. So the origin of where the ball landed, according to that mark, unless it's blatantly out. If it's close to the line, if it's flirting with the line, that ball is in, baby, unless you saw it out. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. One of my pet peeves. Here's another pet peeve I have. I've served, my ball went out, and you, my opponent, took a practice return, which caromed off the back fence, off the side fence. I had to go gather it, push it out of the way, and then come back and reset myself, messing up the tempo of the time between a first service fault and a second serve. Ready, let me prepare my mind and go. I had to go deal with your garbage because you wanted to take a practice swing. That's also a no-go. What you do is you just bunt the ball to the front of the net. If the ball's out, practice bunting it, controlling it to the front of the net, down low, or trap it and quickly discard it behind you or in your pocket, but have the skill to discard it, not let it roll back out. So if you watch good players, calling out my club league players that have no clue, I'm sorry. Watch really good players and watch how they handle those. Oh boy, I could name some names. I'm on a fire roll today, baby. Because the league is starting up and I'm about to encounter some newer players, some guys that have been playing a long time that think they really understand the rules of the game, and they don't. That's why it's a delight to play with former teaching pros, former college players, people that have played a lot of tennis when they were young, when they were impressionable to be coached, and they learned some things, and they hopefully got around some good coaches. If they climbed up in the game, they probably did. And those coaches, the really good coaches from yesteryear, taught you about some basic protocols and courtesies that will help you get invited to social events that Neanderthals don't get invited to. It's a gentleman's game. And as annoying as that may be, knowing how to talk and how to behave is a big part of the game, and it's fun. Sometimes it's handled wrong and people become kind of elitist about it. That's not what I'm talking about. Anyway, so a couple of scripts, huh? Balls down the middle of the court, a little higher over the net, making you more reliable from the baseline. Bring your targets in so you're not hitting the ball wide, making silly errors wide. Bring your targets in so you're not flirting with the sideline, giving your opponent a chance to hook you on a bad call. Then that's going to be a big improvement for you in the win-loss column. And then the next step up is, once you got that foundational set of bricks dialed in and it's part of your instinct, here's something pretty cool that I learned that is very helpful. Man, I can't believe I'm even going to bring this one out. That's all right. Most people haven't been practicing it as long as I have. Thank you, Coach Smith. Thank you, Tennis Tech, for teaching that to us. So in Vegas, when you're playing some poker, you got to manage your chips. You got to manage your stack. You got to bet intelligently. So in tennis, you want to do that too. You want to know where you're at. You want to know the score. You want to understand what to do. You want to have a script for each circumstance. And here's a biggie, especially in doubles. If me and my partner are on the same page and we're gambling in sync and of the same mindset, so as we're in a, let's say it's 40-15, we're up 40-15. This is not a time to be fearful. This is a time to be fearless. This is a time to take risk without being reckless, but you're working on accelerating, extending, pressing, and you get better and better at it. So it's 40-15 and you're going to take a swing at your serve. And you faulted that one, so on the second serve you're going to take another swing because it's a perfect time to gamble. And the benefit, even if you miss, you've started to get over that fearful hesitation type of push swing at the right time. Flip it around, you're at 15-40. 15-40 and it's 5-6, it's match point. You could lose. This is not the time to try to play super fearless, in my opinion. You want to play not tentative, but you want to play a bit more conservative. Because your opponent is also nervous. Even though they're in the lead, they have the nervousness of closing out this set. That's not easy to do. So by allowing them, by you playing a little more conservative, centering your shots, aiming a little higher, steady Freddy, be a baseline monster from the baseline, keep the ball in play 20 times, have more patience than your opponent, maybe they'll flinch and crack the door open, and now it's 30-40 because they erred on the baseline. Maybe they hit it wide. They were trying to finish the point and they were a little too eager at the wrong time. They weren't quite set up to try that shot. Bad selection, shot selection, because they're a little nervous. I'm giving you some time to ponder this. So now you've played conservative, you've captured another point. What's going through the mind of your opponent? Some opponents implode and they start, their heart rate rises, their tension levels rise because they're thinking about the past and the future. I can't believe I didn't close out that point and win the set. Okay, now I really have to do it here. They get into a racing mindset. And if you stay cautious, it's 30-40. And I'm going to run like the Dickens. I'm going to chase down every ball. Here's another benefit. As you start running during nervous times, you start to breathe better. When you stop running, you stop moving, you stop breathing in a nice, deep, slow pattern. You start breathing like a little bird. You get nervous and you freeze. And if you freeze, you're probably not going to make a very good swing. So it's all about setting up some harmony and synchronicity that you do this every time. When it's even or ahead, this is a good time to take some risk. Accelerate. I hit that wide. See, I had to drift to the right to go get it. Second serve. Money. Okay. I deuced it up. Now my opponent's really twisted. He's ticked off because he had me 40-15. So he's thinking about the past. Now it's deuce, and he's thinking about the past. He's not even in the present. He gives it scant attention about what to do next. He's so ticked off about that I've made a comeback and that he let it fall apart. You've got a moment there to capture him. So you want to keep your momentum going. And that's where, getting back to my pet peeve, I hit a serve out. He does a practice serve. It caroms around. I got to go collect it, and it gives him more time to get his head together. That's gamesmanship. That's gamesmanship, people. The opponent is practicing gamesmanship, and a lot of guys do it. And for me, knowing it and being able to label it, understand it, having played against it, having to play against it now, which is annoying. That's what's nice about tournaments. When you get to tournament play, the pretenders go away because nobody wants to put it on the line, because you're going to have a result that's posted. If you got beat 6-0, 6-0, you got beat 6-0, 6-0. There's no defending it, chattering. You don't hear at the higher level tournament play guys complaining about lines. Oh God, that ball hit the corner. Gosh, you're getting lucky. You're getting a lot of lines, you know. That took a funny bounce. God, why don't you hit the ball? It's just excuse after excuse after excuse, and it's so born into their brain that the beautiful thing, being the coach and the captain, I'm trying to take some time to help my teammates that don't understand learn to understand, to stop making excuses. The crutches that are so common in our sport, everybody does it. Everybody does it until you don't do it because you've been taught. Stop doing that. Take responsibility, right? The other day I'm playing with a friend of mine who thinks he's Mr. Tennis, and he's standing on the baseline. No matter who's serving, he's standing on the baseline. He's not altering, stepping back a little bit on a first serve that's coming with some thump and moving up an inch or two into the baseline on a weaker second serve. So he's leaving himself to calculate from the same position regardless of what's happening with the ball. And sometimes he overruns it and collides with the ball, and sometimes he's too far away and he has to stumble to get to the ball because his footwork is not good enough to get up there with 8 steps, wheel around on it, and then make the shot. His swing's decent, but he's seldom in the right space unless he's just feeling no pressure at all. And he can't correct it because he's over swinging. And he thinks it's a timing thing with his swing, when in reality it's all about his positioning. So you see, if you're in good position, you can smoke the ball. If you're in bad position, smoke the ball. Unless you're good at modifying your body shape to be able to make this shot, because you've hit that in squash. Most people aren't, though. Their body's just a tangled mess on a ball that's too close to their hip. It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. It's lovely to sit there and analyze and be able to analyze and do something about it because you have all the clubs in the golf bag. If you don't have all the clubs in the golf bag, you have limited strategic options. It's like playing chess with 5 pieces on the chessboard. That was quite a diatribe, but it's been on my mind. That's why I'm making this video. Leading into the spring season, I'm being assertive, and people find that to be sometimes stern or a little harsh or not nice, but I just don't have time to listen to nonsense. And I'm not going to let that stuff contaminate my head just because it's popular and it's everywhere around. So many pretenders in our sport. So many pretenders. It's funny. And one of the delights is to get your game sharp so that you can mow through people that have these preconceived notions, and they're very wrong. But they've been getting away from it, or getting away with it, because their opponents know no better. And they have some control over a couple of things to help slide the scales in their favor, the time of day that they would like to play, the court that they would like to play on, things that you really don't have control over unless you're just setting up a social match where there's really, it's not the test. It's good sparring and it's fun, but the test is lacking. You got to get outside of that box, people, and gain a greater perspective. That felt sweet. A little weightlifting is helping. You know what's great is I don't even need to do hard weightlifting. I just need to do it frequently to tone up. I'm not trying to become Lou Ferrigno by any means. Obviously, I get chicken legs. But firming up and being able to set a framework and then take a swing at the ball is starting to happen now. And guys that had a preconceived notion of my game of being Mr. Finesse, which I am, I do have finesse, baby. It's fun. Glad I learned the karaoke step to bring you into the net. Then you come out of that into a little split step so you can be ready to go forward, adjust, handle whatever shot comes up. Most guys go forward and they're stumbling into the net, running directly at it, belly button and nose right at the ball. They don't understand the concept of running up on the ball, giving yourself a lane so that you're not going to get tangled up with your swing. Give yourself a lane. Then you can have a nice setup and completion to hit with more depth. Give yourself a lane, and then buy yourself some time by coming in with your racket already prepped. With your racket already prepped, having the racket already prepped does a wonder of good. It buys you time. It gives you options. Because I can start here, but slice. I can start here, but come over the top. If my racket's prepped and I'm the right distance from the ball, I can move in, slice. I can back off it, step in, over the top. That's fun to be able to do that with some authority. That comes down to recognizing the ball flight early so that you can make a decision sooner, select the shot you want to hit sooner, and then you have a better chance of executing it well. That's for you, Scott Cohen. In our last little video that we posted, Scott made a little comment. I can't wait to see you in the spring. I'm going to come down to the south, play some tennis with my buddy, and I'm coming after your backhand. I want you to come after my backhand, Scott. I really do. I am so eager to dismantle your approach with some over-the-top. And don't even forget about Mr. Lob Volley. Mr. Lob Volley is going to be in your future very soon too. So as you sprint in, Daddy's going to move you north and south, not just east and west. We're going to give you a little drop shot, bring you in and give you a little lobster. And as you run back to scissor kick that overhead, I'm going to move into position, giving myself enough room, watching your setup to see where your hips and shoulders are pointed, and watching your contact points so that I can pick off wherever you hit that overhead if you happen to get to it. And if it's behind you and you go for it, and so you have to roll it more toward the sky, forget about it, because if that ball goes up, Scott, I'm thumping overheads right now, just thumping them. I might hit you. Scott, I might hit you if you're not ready. So you better be doing some Bruce Lee racket skills with your hands. You better get practicing with nunchucks. Anything to speed up your hand speed, because Daddy has sweet hands. Sweet hands. Scott does too. Scotty has very good hands. And now he's lost a bunch of weight, gotten himself trim and firm, and he's got some good looking silky strokes. I like that 1-on-2 video you did, Scott, where you were hitting solo. A little lefty for that guy, a little righty for that guy, a little lefty for that guy, a little righty for that guy. That was good. That was very good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching you hit the ball, my friend. I can't wait till you get down here and we sign up for a tournament, take a little road trip. Remember those old days in the van at ISU? Rob Ortell would take the girls. I would take the guys. Then Rob would have a little tiff with the girls and he'd, hey, Captain, you take the girls this week, I'll take the guys. And I was Mr. Technician, but I was also a little bit of a clown. And I had fun. We had fun on those road trips. The early days of practicing stand-up comedy with Scott Cohen, our humor and banter of the team dynamic was so much fun. I miss those days. So I'm starting it again now with my guys, who are not quite as receptive and impressionable because they've been doing the wrong thing for a long time. I'm just kidding, guys. Only in terms of your approach to the game of tennis, in terms of you think you've learned it all already and you're done learning. I'm working on something new too for my game. Not new, I'm just polishing it. And that is, I'm working on my Composite Grip, which is my kind of go-to grip. It allows me to hit golf shots. It allows me to hit my serve. It allows me to hit mid-court volleys. It allows me to hit blocking slice shots. It allows me to hit drop shots, all with the same setup. As I get more fit and my legs are getting stronger and my core is getting stronger and I can support my frame to coil better, more in sync, more tied together, not so much of a wave that you get out of a composite grip. Feels good, looks good, it's fun to hit. You gotta, I mean, I've been doing it so long, it's a big part of my game, but in terms of real efficiency, getting my circle smoothed out, getting the shape of my circle smoothed out, using my left hand to initiate the turn, adjust, unleash, recover, initiate, adjust, unleash, recover, keep the feet moving. Getting that more into my game now is taking my reliability up my clean topspin swing, getting some revolutions on the ball that the guys haven't seen before. They haven't seen me doing that as much in the past. Now a ball's coming at my friends that's got some rotation on it. You know, if I'm getting 4,000 RPMs on my low to high swing loop forehand, where I try to strike the ball from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and it's getting a clean rotation like a tire going down the road. Another credit to Tennis Tech and Coach Smith, tire going down the road. Like a tire that's broken off of a car, a vehicle, and it's spun loose and it's rolling perfectly, symmetrically, smoothly down the road on its own. If you strike the ball with the proper swing and you hit it from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock because you've lined it, you've given yourself some space, an alley, and you've set up soon enough that you're not rushed or you don't have any kind of hitch in your swing, there's nothing interfering with the swing finishing. If you do that, you can strike the ball in a very nice fashion where it brings your weight forward and you're recovering for the next shot. Better. Now I'm on my front foot. It's one of the benefits to a closed stance. Today there's a lot of open stance hitting. Guys hold a semi-western grip and they're in here, and this right hip generates a lot of power. It's impressive and it's great for high balls. It's great for high balls. But there's some benefits that you lose hitting in that fashion. If I'm here, my eyes are looking straight ahead, right? And so now my field of vision is quite wide. I can see the whole court, my opponent, that's all good. And my eyes should be tracking the ball in here, but it's easier to not have your eyes here on an open stance, in my opinion. Whereas if you close up your stance, now I have truly selected my forehand. And I'm a little bit more left eye dominant, like somebody shooting a gun, like a sniper that blocks out this other part of the field of vision that doesn't matter now. What matters is supreme focus in here. I can see the court, I'm upright, my head's on a shelf. I can adjust, my racket's prepped, but my field of vision is very zoned in so that when I go to strike the ball, I can be very zoned in on the contact point. That takes a lot of concentration and endurance to do that throughout the whole match. You can get lucky more with a ball here, frame shots, because it's gonna happen more. You're gonna miss hit balls, you're gonna overswing, you're gonna catch the frame. And so you get away with a lot. And the sheer velocity that you're generating with that shot, if you can do it, young people can until they can't, either by age or an injury. Older players need to do that selectively. And for me, the one thing I was mentioning that I'm going to learn, that I'm working on, is on mid-court balls. I can do this, I can slice it, I can let it drop and do a little, I can do half volleys. But to get somebody in trouble, I want to take a mid-court ball and start attacking it in this fashion. While it's high, I want to come in with a composite Eastern semi-Western grip is comfortable for me, and hit through these shots, applying a couple thousand, 3,000 RPM on the ball. And I'm just tossing out those numbers to be respectful of somebody like Rafa that gets 8,000 RPMs on his swing or more, 10, maybe, I gotta check that math, but it's somewhere up there. A guy like Roger gets, consistently probably 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs all day long. A club player, they may not get any, they're getting RPMs with the ball is moved, the seams of the ball are knuckling around. Very few are striking it where the seams of the ball are like a tire going down the road. That's what I'm talking about. A true clean hit with an uninhibited swing. If you're the right distance from the ball, you can hit a very clean rotation off both sides. Feeling good, man. Been working out, hitting enough balls, just enough per week. Trying to get anywhere from 1 to 3 matches in per week to get ready for tournament season. And some of those matches are just kind of they're not hit and giggle, but they're not intense. I don't need every match to be intense. I need one very intense, I need an intense match, a challenge. The other ones, just being on the court, because I'm working on things. I'm working on my split step, I'm working on my shot selection. I've kind of tuned out my opponents and my partner to some degree, particularly if it's a random partner, because on League, I play with everybody. I have some guys that I prefer to play with, and the guys I don't like to play with as much because our styles don't match up and it's just not enjoyable. It doesn't really help my game. I play those matches with the guys where we don't line up because you can't just ignore them and not do those matches. You got to be able to play in uncomfortable circumstances. But in uncomfortable circumstances, because your opponent doesn't, or your partner doesn't know positioning, you end up lunging for balls. You end up off balance more often. You end up debating with them because they think they understand positioning and which ball you should capture. And it's just I don't have time for all the instruction while I'm trying to work on my game. Oh, that felt great. Yesterday I was helping my student work on his timing with his serve to make it more silky. Let the left hand on the toss drape that ball up there and be silky, soft. It can't be jerky, it can't be rushed, it can't be initiated. It needs to be set. And if you drape it up there and give it a little length, it gives you more time to bring your racket around behind you so you can tilt your torso a little bit toward the heavens and get a little bit upward lift onto the whole shape of the swing. You want that circle to be pitched like a baseball pitching machine that's going to shoot a heave-hove to the outfield. Those two spinning discs that you put a baseball into and it squishes it and launches it out. One disc rotating this way, the lower disc rotating this way, applies a topspin on the ball. And you can flip it around to apply underspin. But on the serve, we want to strike it. We want to strike the ball. We want to strike the ball. Let me see how I should flip this around for you. Let me do this. If I'm serving, I want to strike the ball at 7 o'clock, and I want to scrape the ball and strike it, go up to 1 o'clock. On my racket strike, I want to strike the strings at 1 o'clock and bring it down and strike it at 7. So 7 on the ball and 1 on the racket. Try that out. See if you can get that into your game. What a day, huh? Hey man, you know KB? You know KB, right?
Yeah. You still in town?
Huh?
You still in town?
He's back here and he's teaching a little bit, and I thought it'd be fun if we got him, you, me, and I have a friend that played for Florida, and we just do a little fun doubles.
Oh yeah.
Exhibition doubles, no, nothing at stake, just the joy of fun, fun positioning.
Where's he? You know where?
Well, he was teaching down here the other day, and I got his number.
Yeah, I know he's teaching there. I thought he was out of town for a while.
Well, he's back.
That's good. He's a good coach.
So yeah, he's a great guy, nice guy.
Where does he coach? still LTP on the side?
No, he's done with LTP.
Done? Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. So he's doing a little, I don't know, I didn't ask him how much he's teaching, but you know, he looks fit. He's still very fit.
He was with Navarro. He was a hitter for Navarro for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, he could play ball, yeah.
Yeah, he can play. Yeah.
Yeah. But he hasn't played in a while, so he wants to just come back and hit light. Yeah. Those guys are 35, 37, really nice teaching pros that are humble and good players. Scotty, does that look moist? That feels good. Let's do that. Let's do some footwork on the backhand. Been hitting pretty steady here for the last, I don't know, if I've been out here a half hour, 40 minutes. Anyway, fitness is getting better. I'm able to do this, keep it going. It looks like I'm hitting lightly, and I pretty much am. I'm hitting at about medium pace. But I can carry on a conversation while I hit. Does she want a ball? Would she like a tennis ball? You want a tennis ball? Why not? Make that part of your day. Take care. Always promote the game of tennis. You never know. Maybe that little kid will tell a story one day that a nice man was hitting tennis balls and he gave her a ball to toss around and play with, and she picked up tennis. And then she went on and played some high school tennis, and she made some dear friends that she stayed in touch with and played tennis with all her life until she became 80 years old, and she decided to keep playing. And in her 60s, she played senior amateur tournament tennis and got very good and played till she was 80. We have a friend that's done that. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool to see, maybe because I'm biased, because I'm older, seasoned. My friends that are old will say, stop calling yourself old, call yourself seasoned. That makes you sound even older. I think it's really fun to defy gravity a little bit naturally. No replacement parts yet so far, knock on wood. No Botox. No hair coloring. Getting some hitting in today, a little workout. We're supposed to have a storm come in this weekend, shut us down for maybe a couple days. Hopefully we'll get lucky tonight and be ahead of it and get some doubles in. I've got a match tonight against somebody who is salivating to beat me. So he prepares his entire life and day because he wants to shut me up. And it's fun because I know that's what he's thinking about, and I'm amused. Sorry. It's a different level of play. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound... Here's what's funny. People have the notion that you only get better if you play somebody better. And that does help. Playing somebody better, it does so many things for your game. But if that's all that you do, you're not developing your weaknesses. You're really not. They're being exposed. Because the really good player, if you're playing somebody better who's truly better, they don't want to lose to you. In fact, all the pressure's on them. They're supposed to win. You have nothing to lose. So you're not really practicing under realistic conditions because the pressure's not on you. The pressure needs to be equal. How you perform under pressure is what it's all about. I mean, really, if you think about it, so you go to a tournament and you're on at 9 o'clock and you're going to play that match, and win or lose, your name's going to go on a draw sheet, recorded for the world to see. And a lot of people don't like to do that because they like keeping the lie to themselves of where they're really at. And I'm not just pointing this out to sound like I'm a saint or a, supreme methodologist of how I'm approaching the game. It works really well for me, and it's worked well for my students. It's worked well for, a lot of good players and coaches. You want to eliminate variables and inject constants. You want to practice against better players. You want to practice against worse players, but you want to play a lot against people that are at your level of play. And what I did when I made my comeback a couple years ago to just get back into shape, my first goal was just to get back in shape and have fun hitting tennis balls. So I went and found myself a team of guys that are just, no pressure. I can just go out, have fun. And I knew that even being rusty, I could play at a level where I can make it fun. I can get the ball in play and we can have a tickle, Then as I started getting sharper, that group didn't meet all my purposes. I enjoyed hitting with them, and I still do, but that's, that's 10% of my practice. I wanted to get into 80% of my practice being against guys at about the same level of play, so I can see where I stand. I can work on the win-loss column elements that you're going to encounter if you're playing at your true level. See, if you're playing playing at the higher level up or the younger age bracket, there's a lot of good that comes out of that, but you're not being honest in the true sense of where do you stand amongst your peers. Your peer is not a 25-year-old. For me, I'm 58. My peers are guys in their mid-50s to on up. And my mentors too. I hang out with mentors more than I do peers. But some of my mentors, even though they're older, they're not by any sense weaker. It's not a measure of your physicality, it's a measure of your experience and your physicality. The guys that are competing and trying to get a national ranking in their age bracket, they're not lying to themselves. And to me, that is refreshing, and it gives me a good measurement of where I'm at, a realistic measurement of where I'm at in my game of play. Hit a few volleys. Still following? Nice. Let's do this better. Takes a moment. Haven't done volleys today yet. I know I got a lot of work to do on my form here. I'm working on it, folks. The little steps it takes to hit a good volley. Keeping those feet active, the little steps. So you can adjust to the ball, get away from the ball, go to the ball. Getting your feet organized. Getting your feet organized so that you can lean into the ball nicely. I let the ball come down a little too much, but for hitting on the wall, I'm not at the level right now where I can pat it in here. That takes a lot of strength, a lot of forearm strength, and it's easy to fatigue your forearm too much and then bring on tennis elbow. If you overwork this and they get fatigued, then you're going to be a little lazy and the weight of the racket's going to start to drip. And then maybe you're playing too much because you're eager and it's spring league and you're trying to get ready, and you go out with your buddy who rifles forehands and backhands and he just wants to tee off on the ball, and you're a little late, and this all gets jacked up. I've done that mistake. I did it last year, coming back a couple times. Because I was eager and I was starting to see notice of improvement, so I was eager. I kept going harder and faster, and I went too hard, and that happened. And that wrist injury takes a long while to recover. I mean, the wrist is it's a smaller, body part of the stroke, but it's a big part of it. It's a big part of feel. It's a big part of slice. It's a big part of drop shots. It's a big part of volleys. And if that's hurting and your racket face is pitched open a lot and the ball bends the strings back, bends the racket head back, you're going to feel that. My mid-court volley is getting pretty darn good, I have to say. It comes natural for me because of the grip that I hold, my composite grip on the forehand. This shot is bread and butter for me. I can do that all day long. And it's so useful. It's a shot from yesterday. It's a teaching pro shot because we do a lot of that standing at three-quarter court, feeding balls, and then balls that come back to you. You're used to stabbing shots back, taking the pace off the ball, the spin, making it set up for your student. You get really good at that touch. And that's a gift former pros, teaching pros have that comes back into their game when they start playing again. And your volley, your hands, to be able to do that. The feeling in here with the heel of the hand and then the delivery with the other fingers. It's like playing an instrument a bit. And that takes a long time to learn how to do. It also helps you hit half volleys. My forehand's stronger. I can hug the ball here. This backhand, that takes a lot of strength to get this all tuned up and striking the ball here. The outside of that shoulder is susceptible to injury. On this side, you got your pecs helping you. You got your oblique on this side. You've got your hips. You got a lot helping you here. On this side, as you torque and turn, the kinetic chain gets a little separated, and you've got to get that really lined up to deliver a nice karate chop consistently. That's how I would describe it. There's some, there's a little bit of gumbiness on the forehand side that you can get away with. You can't have too much of a wave. We shifted into half court, mid-court play, keeping the feet busy. This is a drill that a few people can do, and they need to do it. It'll help your game, guys. Not surprised. Lift the feet so you don't get jammed. Get away from the ball, then go to the ball. Whew, good workout. Let's try some serves again. Whoa. It's a little too dreamy, silky, drapey. I think the playground is getting a little busy. We're going to wrap it up, do a little anti-rain dance, and hope that we don't get rained out tonight. Hope we don't get rained out for my Saturday practice morning. Sunday we're going to squeak in the playoffs. In the absence of being able to practice, if we get rained on and then we have to jump into Sunday, it is now Wednesday, I will find a way to practice. Either on this wall, hitting some serves maybe if I have to, if there's wet courts. Every day, a little bit of something. A little bit of something. Whew. Okay, kids. Have a nice January 20th. Have a nice winter solstice. Have a nice spring league season if you're upon that. Try to be forward on your hit. Try to step in, be forward. Be on your front foot more this season. Enjoy. 谢谢。